Hi, Cindy Cross here from the Post and Rail. We're going to make quince paste today, and I want to show you the quick and easy way to do it. Well, it's not super quick, but it is easy. And here's some tips of how to get really good setting quince paste. The main thing is you need to wash the quinces, chop them up, including the pips and the skin. We need that because that's where the pectin is. That's what's going to set it. And my trick is to weigh your pot, and it doesn't matter how much quinces you put in, how much weight. Let's say, for instance, we do 1 kilo or 2 kilos of it today. Doesn't matter how much you put in because it's an equal quantities of quinces to sugar recipe. So it can be doubled, tripled, it can be whatever. If you've got 1.27 kilos, you just add 1.27 kilos of sugar. And that's how you get a good set also. The trick is though, to get that skin and the seeds in there. And also to cook it, this very next stage, we need to cook it until it's very soft and mushy and turning pink. And we don't stop cooking it until it is. So we don't add sugar or anything until we've got some pink color. But what we need to add though is enough water to make sure it doesn't stick, but we don't want a soup of it either because that's ultimately going to dilute down our pulp to sugar ratio. Quince paste, by the way, when jarred up, lasts for 2 years at least in a jar. Absolutely delicious, obviously. My only other thing I like doing with quinces, probably my favourite thing, is quince cheeks in vanilla syrup, but that's another recipe. But this is for quince paste. So basically I'm just chopping these quinces, holus bolus, skin, seeds, everything, except I have washed the velvety fuzz off the outside. So you can see how quick that is to just chop that and get that in your pan. Now I've zeroed my pan so I know how much it did weigh, so that I can tell you right now I've got 1.5 kilos of quinces in there. I'm going to take it up to 2 kilos because look how much more I've got to do. After 2 hours of cooking, this is the colour that we've managed to get here. Now it's quite a peachy sort of colour. You can really see that it's starting to turn. So it's no longer the yellow fleshed kind of raw thing. It's actually quite mushy. I've topped it up with water a couple of times, so it's actually got quite thick. I've stirred it 3 or 4 times. So I've got other things on the go there. So I've been in the kitchen anyway. But basically that hasn't stuck. That is seeds, everything. It's just chopped quinces, all chopped up ready, and now it's mushy. And because it started changing colour, that's how I know that it's ready to mouli. And we added 2 kilos of fruit at the start, so I know that that's how much sugar I'm going to add, so I don't have to weigh it at this point because I already know. Let's get stuck in. So mouliing is just basically a way of getting out all the seeds, pips and skins, and so I do a few ladlefuls in here. Then I go round and round. You can pick these up in kitchen stores. They're around $20 or $30. Or I actually found this cute one, another one too, that in an op shop. So they're not sort of as popular as they used to be. Just every now and then if something tries to get out, get it back in. So you just go round and round and round, and you can see it sort of ending up mushed out of here if I hold it up in the air and try not to get it everywhere. So that's pretty much pulp. It's a little juicy, but that's okay, it will cook away. It's far better to cook it in that water amount at the start rather than keep it dry and nearly burning the whole time. That way you don't have to stir it as often. So once you get to the bottom of that amount and you can feel like it's nearly all there, I actually do a swing back the other way and keep up. So this is absolutely brilliant. There's not a lot in there, so I'll go again. So I'll keep doing this till it's all gone, and then I'll show you the pulp that we've got left. So there you have it. Push through the moulie. It's now one big sloppy mess of hot quince. Now at the moment, if you tried to eat that, I'm just going to try it through. I'm guessing it's going to be sour. Oh. Bit sour. So what I'm going to do at this stage, because often quince quinces still have this little crunchy grainy bit in them that doesn't cook out for ages. Best trick to do here. My old friend, the stick mixer. I love this thing. It's happens to be one of my favourite tools in the kitchen. By putting the stick mixer through this at the moment, you're actually getting rid of all of those grainy, hard, crunchy bits, which take a long time to go. And we get this really smooth texture, which is going to mix really well with the sugar in there. How much fun can you have? How much mess can you make? Tart, but not bad at all. Okay, and that's going. Oh, I've got to put some sugar in there. So 2 kilos is 8 cups of sugar. Here we go. 2, 4, 6. I'm going to put this back on the heat. And I think because we've already got it to this peach stage, so the quinces are cooked long enough to start colouring, I actually think it's only going to take about another hour flipping away on the stove. So this isn't the time that you go and leave it from now on, because this is when it could stick. But I can already feel the pectin has come out of that quince into this mix here. Now that does seem like an exorbitant amount of sugar, but like making jams and things, it's usually half and half. So the idea is it does actually make it last stored in a jar, and the sugar is the preservative agent here, and the heat. So it has to be something that stops it going bad, and the fact we're going to put it in a jar as well. But say you want to put it in those, you can get those little tubs that are quite sort of flat, so that you can tip it out later and put it on the plate. But I honestly find being in a jar is a better way for me, because I can actually store it for 12 months or more on the shelf. And you can just imagine how much this is going to make. So I've stirred that till the sugar is just about dissolved now. So it's going back on the heat. Well, finally, we're at the end of this momentous journey. So all up it took 4 hours. So there was 2 hours of the smushy bit at the start with the water, and then there was another 2 hours after I stick mixed it and added the sugar. So what I'm going to do now is jar it up. So I've got clean and dry jars here. They're not heated. And I'm just going to ladle in. And I know it's going to set because it's already, even in the pot, the where I've dolloped it in is actually staying in position. So the lid goes on, upside down, 3 minutes, and then I'll turn it back up again. Now, unlike some of the other things I do, this is a particularly important one that you do. Just wait only 3 minutes and tip it back. And the reason is, as this cools, it's actually going to set upside down if you don't re-tip it back, because it's it's quince cheese or quince paste, so it's such a firm set that if you don't tip it up, you'll end up with upside down quince paste. So you see I'm actually using a tea towel here because that jar is so hot. But I hope you have a go at this, because it's quince season here at the moment, which is the wonderful thing about autumn. And enjoy. It can be used with all sorts of quinces. And on the side note, if you ever want to prank someone and to eat a quince off a tree, it's worth it. Make sure you film me and send it to me, because I love to see that.